Order of operations and fractions. The simplest way to work with fractions is to imagine that the numerator and the denominator are each in their own set of parentheses. Before you divide the numerator by the denominator, you must have them both in simplest form. And then you must be very careful about what you can do with them. For instance, a common error is shown below. X divided by 1 plus x. You cannot divide the top and the bottom by x to get 1 over 1 plus 1. Rather, you have to think of the denominator, 1 plus x, as being in parentheses. Until I can simplify that further, which you can't in this situation, this is the simplest form. How would you evaluate this expression? We have 45 divided by 3 times 7 minus 2. Well, the first thing you want to do is anything inside parentheses. So that becomes 5. Now you have 45 divided by 3 times 5. In this case, you can just multiply these together. That becomes 15, and then 45 divided by 15 is 3. You could have also divided 45 by 3 first, and then by 5. Either way, you're going to end up with 3 as your answer. How would you evaluate this expression? We'll solve it on the next slide. First, recognize that terms in the denominator act like they're in parentheses. Then, do all of the operations in parentheses first. Keep all results in parentheses until the next operation. Then, we do all the exponents and roots. So, as you can see here, this 7 minus 8 becomes negative 1. Right there, that becomes that. We have this here, this 5 minus 8, that becomes negative 3. And then we have the exponent here, 3 squared becomes 9. Alright, we'll move on to the next slide. Then we do all the multiplication and division. So we have this 4 times 3, and that becomes 12. We have 9 divided by 5, and that gives us 1.8. We do 6 divided by 2, and that gives us 3. So we just did all of these multiplication and division parts at the same exact time, and that was okay because they're separated by subtraction and addition signs, so they don't affect each other directly yet. And now here, we just have some addition and subtraction to do. Those all add up to 10.2, and we still have this negative 1 in the denominator. But when you divide 10.2 by negative 1, you just get negative 10.2. Let's try another problem. What happens if there's more than one set of grouping symbols? So here we have brackets, and we have 2 sets of parentheses inside of those brackets. So when there's more than one set of grouping symbols, which includes parentheses or brackets, you start on the inside and you work out following the order of operations. So here we have 2 times 8 inside of inside of parentheses, and we have 4 squared minus 9. So first, we work on the inside of this parentheses, and the exponent here takes priority. So we'll turn that into 16. Then we will solve what's inside of the parentheses. So we have 2 times 8 becoming 16. We have 16 minus 9 becoming 7. Then we have some addition. We also have division. So the next step is to change 7 divided by 7 into 1. And then, before we move on to this 3 on the outside of the brackets, we will do this addition. That addition equals 23. Then finally we multiply it by 3 and we get 69. Parentheses can be added to an expression to change the value of the expression. So we just have 4 plus 6 divided by 2 minus 1. The priority here will be this division. So it would become 4 plus 3 minus 1, simplified to 6. But if instead we put parentheses here, this is the priority. So 4 plus 6 becomes 10. And then 10 divided by 2 is 5, minus 1 gives us 4. So this parentheses here changed the answer. Change the value of the expression by adding parentheses. See how many different values your table can come up with. Alright, well right now this is 20 plus 7 minus 4, so that is 27 minus 4, which is 23. But if we add some parentheses, here's 2 other ways to do it. So if we added parentheses, here, I'll put this over here. around the 7 minus 2, all of a sudden this becomes 5 squared instead of 2 squared, and you'll end up with 45. If you instead put brackets around these two pieces, you end up with an answer that's 51. So you can see how important it is to look for all the parentheses and do those operations first. Change the value of the expression by adding parentheses. Alright, so as is, this takes precedence because this is division and that it takes priority over subtraction or addition, so that's 3. So this becomes 12 minus 3 plus 3. These cancel out and we're left with 12. However, we could have also added parentheses in the following ways. If you would put parentheses around this 3 and 9, all of a sudden this becomes 12. So then we have 12 divided by 3 gives us 4, 12 minus 4 gives us 8. Or if we put parentheses around this entire part, 12 minus 3 is 9, plus 9 gives us 18. Then divide by 3 and we get 6.